next assignment is going to ask you about elapsed time. Like I've said before, elapsed time is all it is finding out the amount of time that has passed from one event to another. So let's just go through number 1 and 2 together. On the first clock, you see the hour hand pointing directly at 11. So I'm just going to write that right below. 11 is the hour. The minute hand is pointing to the 12, which means that it's 00, 11 o'clock. Then the second clock shows the hour hand between 11 and 12, which means the hour is still 11, but then the minute hand is at 45. How many minutes have passed by? How many hours have passed by? It's still the same hour, so 0 hours. How many minutes? We went from 0 to 45, so 45 minutes. Number 2. The first clock shows 7 o'clock because the hour hand is pointing directly at 7 and the minute hand is at the 12, which means it's 7 o'clock. Then the second clock shows the hour hand pointing between the 9 and the 10, which means it's still 9 o'clock, and the minute hand pointing at 6, which means 30. So 7 o'clock to 9:30. How many hours? 7, 8, 9. So that's 2 hours. How many minutes from 0 to 30? 2 hours, 30 minutes. Let's do number 8 together. It looks a little tricky. Let's find the time of the first clock. The hour hand is between the 1 and the 2, which makes it 1 o'clock. The minute hand is at the 9, which means 45. On the second clock, the hour hand is between 4 and 5, which makes it 4 o'clock. Then the minute hand is at the 7, which means 35. Now, let's just do some counting up to find the amount of hours that have passed. So 1:45 is where we're starting. To 2:45, that's 1 hour. 2:45 to 3:45, that's 2 hours. 3:45 to 4:45, that would be 3 hours. 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours. Okay? Now, if we go all the way to 4:45, we are busting. We've gone too far. That would mean the minute hand would have to be over here on the second clock. It would have to point at the 9. Instead, it points at the 7. I'll show you 2 different ways to calculate how many hours and minutes have passed. First, 1 to 2:45. 1:45 to 2:45 is 1 hour. 2:45 to 3:45 is 2 hours. We're not going to count this extra hour. We're just going to count minutes. So 2 hours and blank minutes. Let's calculate minutes by starting at the 45 of the first clock and counting all the way around until we get to the 7. We'll count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So we know it's 2 hours and 50 minutes. Now, option 2 is to count 1:45, 2:45, 2:45 to 3:45, 3:45 to 4:45. But then we're going to have to count backwards. We're going to have to take away. So instead of it being 3 hours, it's going to be 2 hours or 3 hours minus 10 minutes, 5, 10. So that makes 2 hours and 50 minutes. If I were you, I would just count forward. If you have any questions on this, I'd be happy to help you. Let's move on to the final assignment. Your final assignment is elapsed time number 2, and all you're going to be asked is what time it will be when this amount of time passes. On number 1, what time will it be in 1 hour? You got it. 2 hours. Got it. The only thing I would suggest is writing the time off to the side. So if it's 11 o'clock on this, so 1:11, the minutes are 0, I would just write it like that. Just for your help. Do it for you. Just count up the hours and then write the correct amount of time. Now, there's something I want you to remember. Half an hour is how long? If 1 hour is 60 minutes, what's half of 60? 30. 30 minutes equals 1/2 an hour. So 1.5 hours. If the time, this is just an example, okay? If the time is 4:30, 1 hour would be 5:30, but then you have to add another 30 minutes. That would make it 6 o'clock. Does that make sense? Let's do one more. If it's 10:45 and 1 hour and a half, it will be, so plus 1 hour is 11:45. But plus 30 minutes, 45 to an hour is 15 minutes. And then add another 15, so that makes it 12:15. Okay? 2.5 hours, count 1 hour, 2 hours, and then add your 30 minutes. You will notice that on the back, again, there are answers, but only use it to check your work when you're finished. I wish you the best of luck, and always remember I'm here to help answer your questions. See you soon. Bye-bye.